Hey, what is up guys, I'm KBHD here, and over the past couple of days I've been asked a lot about the Nvidia Shield tablet. Now if you've seen any of the ads or if you know anything about this, it's basically a gaming tablet. A lot of people are buying this specifically for the gaming features, and it's really good at that. But if you know me, I'm really not much of a gamer at all. I don't play that many games on my phone or tablet. But I didn't want to ignore this just because I don't game, so I decided to check it out. I picked it up anyway, and I've been using it a lot. And turns out when you take away a lot of the gaming features and a lot of the stuff that it's really good at for gaming, it just becomes an 8-inch pure Android, sort of a Nexus 8 kind of tablet. So this is a short video just going over the stuff that you'll get on this tablet if you don't game, kind of proving that it's a good tablet even without those awesome features. Let's take a look. So first of all, this Shield tablet is made by Nvidia, and besides all the awesome accessories it works with and all the other cool gaming tricks it has some pretty beastly specs. So it's packing Nvidia's latest and greatest K1 chip inside. So a 2.2 gigahertz quad-core processor, 192 core GPU, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigs of storage, and all the rest of the hardware is geared towards showcasing that new K1 chip. In fact, that's really what this whole tablet is all about. So nothing too flashy going on with the design. It's pretty compact, it's got a pretty solid weight to it, a bit heavier than the Nexus 7, and just small enough that I can hold it with one hand, although I guess most people will two-hand it since it is bigger than the Nexus 7. But I gotta say, the build quality is pretty decent. Again, it's not the best build in the world, but you can see it's solid. It's got a pretty standard array of ports, headphone jack, USB, and HDMI on one side with a speaker port, and the other speaker port on the other side. And speaking of speakers, yes, this is one of a few tablets, just a few, with front-facing speakers. I probably said this when talking about just about every device with this, but it really should be standard, especially in tablets where you have all this space to work with. I mean, this isn't even a premium price tablet, it's pretty mid-range, and these speaker drivers really aren't even that good, but they're still miles better sounding than anything else with back-facing speakers, and you gotta love that for media. And of course, you can see inside that left speaker grill is the front-facing camera. It has a 5 megapixel front-facing camera and a 5 megapixel rear-facing camera, both of which are actually pretty good quality, but I don't think you should be using them much anyway. So really my only complaint with the Shield hardware is just the buttons. The power and volume buttons, they're pretty awful. They're really stiff and have almost zero travel, so they're a pain to use, and I've been using this tablet for weeks and I still can't even change the volume without picking up the tablet and looking at it. So the buttons are my only gripe. So anyway, this tablet is clearly meant for gaming, and I almost feel bad not talking about all these gaming features because they're totally badass. There's a wireless controller, there's dedicated software hub and everything. But like I said, I'm not a gamer and I wouldn't know best about that, so I'm actually going to leave a link or two right below that like button to videos that do a good job of showcasing these gaming features. But for me, this is an Android 4.4 tablet running almost pure stock Android with a few Nvidia improvements, and I really like that. I put the Google Experience Launcher on here, and not only does it feel really familiar and comfortable, but because it's stock Android with no skin and that beastly Nvidia K1, everything is fast, fluid, and smooth, and the K1 really shows off here. Even when you're just doing regular multitasking or web browsing, it's not a super high resolution display, so you're not pushing a ton of pixels. It's a 1080p 8-inch display, so it's pretty sharp, but again, the panel is just mid-range, it's a little on the warm side. It's really about showing off the Nvidia K1, and it's just killing it. And just to make sure it wasn't just me giving stock Android too much credit, I fired up an application that honestly, on any other Android tablet, lags and stutters and drops frames like crazy, and that's Google Earth. Very old app, but you've probably experienced it yourself. I opened it up here on the Shield tablet, and the K1 handled it like a boss. Almost zero dropped frames, beautiful fluid movement. Might actually finally be the first Android tablet that I can showcase this app on, and it doesn't lag and stutter and crash. So I guess it's kind of crazy that Google Earth has remained a benchmark for so long. So yeah, with this awesome graphical performance, since Nvidia is doing such a good job with that, of course, using a tablet with general everyday use is very smooth. You get fast performance. It's kind of what you look for when you're buying a tablet, and this basically nails it. Now, there are a few additions Nvidia has thrown in, again, mostly for gaming, but some of the stuff is pretty cool. One of them, and I guess this is the most major, is the Stylus. Yes, they added a stylus to the back of this tablet, something you won't find on a Nexus, but it is a pretty advanced stylus, so when you remove it, you get a couple of stylus-ready apps you can choose to launch, And the really impressive one here is Nvidia Dabbler. It's made just for the Shield. I guess Nvidia just made this for this new device, and it uses and recognizes the shape of the stylus. It's like a felt tip pen, and it kind of rocks. It's awesome. It has this really detailed, precise watercolor effect if you choose to use that brush. A whole bunch of different brush effects. I mean, I felt like I could mess with this thing all day until I legitimately create works of art like this. All right, I'm kidding. That one came preloaded, but the stylus recognition is definitely advanced as anything you'll find on any, iPad or any other tablet. Okay, another thing Nvidia has added to the stock Android experience was some performance modes, and I really couldn't even tell the difference. I didn't look behind the scenes at what it was doing to the CPU, but again, the main purpose is to show off to the Nvidia K1, so they added those modes to be able to change how that throttles. They also added Hdmi settings, since there's a mini HDMI port, and of course settings for any controller you might have added. But again, probably Nvidia's dedicated Shield wireless controller for gaming, because all these features are for gaming. And all this stuff is built right into Android settings, so very conveniently tucked away where you can find them when you want to look for them. There's also in the quick settings a toggle for full screen mode, which is basically Android 4.4's immersion mode, but full time for the entire operating system, like on demand. So I guess if you just hate seeing the notifications or you just need to force a full screen game to happen, you can do that. So yeah, really this tablet is full featured, it's packed, it's legit. I've enjoyed using it over the Nexus 7, mostly for the front-facing speakers, because again, I love hearing the sound move across your face as the image moves across the screen. That kind of stuff you just can't get with rear-facing speakers. And it makes media so much better, and tablets are really all about media if you're gaming or watching a video or whatever you're doing. And if you're going to look for the software updates over in Nexus, I have faith because the Nvidia Shield, the OG Shield, actually got quite a few updates in the software department. So that's a good sign for this new tablet. I think they'll also get a few software updates, maybe see Android L soon. And you know what? Those rumors of an 8-inch Volantis Nexus tablet with front-facing speakers we've all been dreaming about, even if that doesn't happen, this will always be an option. And it's a pretty good one. Props to Nvidia. Keep it up. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.